those are true. We are all of those things. And we are so much more. Unfortunately, we tend to get put into a box. It doesn't give us a chance to showcase our softness, sensitivities, and our feminine sides. Oftentimes we get told we've got masculine energy, or we're trying to be the man, or we don't know how to let a man lead. This can lead to us having a hard time sharing when we're struggling with something, or opening up about our experiences. I'm here to show you that there's more to us than just being a strong Black woman. I'm here to show you what mental health struggles can look like for us as Black women, and to give you ways to support the other women. Hi guys, welcome to Living with BC. I'm BC, a mental health counselor in Florida, and today we will be talking about some mental health statistics in Black women. I love seeing Black women talk about mental health. It's so needed. There's so much breakthrough that can happen for women when they're willing to take a look at what they've experienced, their past traumas, the things that they developed to protect themselves, and get to a place where they can operate in freedom of who they truly are. I want to help Black women recognize the freedom and the healing that they are worthy of, because we deserve our flowers too, and to take time to focus on ourselves. There's still being such a stigma around mental health in general, even more so in the Black community. It can be hard to know what it looks like when a Black woman is struggling with her mental health. So today I'll be sharing some interesting stats so that you can get a better idea of what to look for. The first stat I'm going to share highlights how the stigma around mental health is still having negative impacts on treatment today. Number 1, did you know Black women diagnosed with postpartum depression are less likely to accept medication recommendations and therapy? Like, you'd ask yourself, why might this be the case? Why are we more hesitant to accept help? Part of it could be because society has showed us that we're not allowed to need help. We have to figure it out all on our own, all naturally, without support from other people like doctors. Maybe they hope it'll go away on their own. Maybe because they didn't notice other women in their life who were struggling with the same things, they think that it's not okay for them to need help with this. It can vary from woman to woman, but it does show us that there is some kind of disconnect when it comes to Black women accepting the help they deserve. Number 2, did you know Black women with greater depressive symptoms were more likely to report somatic symptoms such as fatigue, insomnia, and decreased libido, and self-critical symptoms such as self-hate and self-blame, and stereotypical depression symptoms such as feelings of hopelessness or depressed mood. I talked about this showing up in Black men in last week's video as well. And I mentioned society doesn't really give us permission to show the emotional aspects of mental health struggles. We're often required to keep pushing our body to the point of where it's breaking. And so a woman who's reporting her symptoms may not be able to pick up or share some of those symptoms of feeling hopeless or depressed. They may be able to recognize the physical symptoms of what they're experiencing. Did you know Black women experience intimate partner violence at a rate 35% higher than white women and 22 times more than women of other races? When I hear that stat, I think about trauma. I think about what a Black woman could be experiencing from multiple parts of her life. Be in a place in their life where they're excited to start their future, they're hoping to find a partner to achieve goals that they've thought about for years, and it's unfortunate to hear that they are more likely to end up experiencing intimate partner violence when they are in those relationships. And if you ask yourself, you may not be able to outright say how many women in your life have experienced this violence. And that's likely because we don't talk about it. We were often taught what happens in the house stays in the house. You don't go outside telling people your business. Unfortunately, that leaves these women having to suffer alone in silence. Number 4, did you know Black women and girls ages 12 and older experience higher rates of rape and sexual assault than white, Asian, and Latina girls and women? Again, going back to the trauma that Black women can experience throughout their life. As children, they're having higher rates of sexual assault. Into adulthood, they're having higher rates of intimate partner violence. That is so much for anyone to be enduring alone in silence. And yet it is expected by society for Black women to study of 158 adult Black women found that agreement with the strong Black woman schema was associated with psychological distress. The researcher, Dr. Watson Singleton's reports went on to show that part of this is happening due to the lack of emotional support. Unfortunately, because we can tend to see Black women as superwomen, we are not as quick to notice when they may need help. And this idea of them not needing help and them being able to do whatever necessary on their own, it's all the way back to slavery and the pressures that were put on us then. For Black women who tend to internalize this idea that they need to be this strong Black woman, they tend to not ask for help. They tend to not check in with themselves. They tend to keep things for themselves instead of sharing with other people who they could be able to trust. Number 6. Through much of the early education of African American girls, they are subjected to adultification bias. This bias is a form of racial prejudice in which children from minority backgrounds, such as African American girls, are viewed as more mature than they are by reasonable norms of social development. African American girls bear double the pressure in meeting the expectations of society in schools. African American girls viewed as older than their years are held accountable with harsher punishments than those applied to other girls. How many of you have been accused of acting fast, but have also been told to take care of all the siblings, make sure they're fed, make sure they make a home okay, make sure you are taking on the role of an adult in the household? Given requirements that are way above what would reasonably be expected for someone your age, especially if they are of a different race. It leads to you being held to standards that are not appropriate for your age and current development. Also results in you having to be punished more severely than other girls your same age. And then as you get older, you begin to internalize those beliefs and those requirements, and you end up missing out on your childhood and getting to just be a kid. As an adult, you may find it harder to relax, to have fun, to be at peace, because there was always the expectation of you having to do more. Number 7, did you know many African American women feel pressure to compromise their authentic selves as they navigate America's racial and gender bigotry? As a therapist, I made it my mission to help women of color alleviate that pressure and be able to bloom into their full potential. I specialize in women of color, racial trauma, faith-related trauma, Christian women, because I have not only seen other women struggle with this pressure, but I've experienced it myself. I saw how lacking there was in resources for helping me break through what I was experiencing, and I did not want other people to have to experience that as well. Pressure can be suffocating. It makes you feel as though you can never do anything right, and there will always be someone to find something wrong with what you're doing. Although society has proven that that is true, there will always be someone there who will find fault. Instead of moving forward in freedom and doing what we want, how we want, we continue to try to box ourselves into something that is palatable for those people. And I work with women to help them push past the walls of that box and move forward in their authentic self. If you're someone who can relate to any of what I just said in this video, put in an emoji of literally just a raised hand so that I can see you and recognize that you are struggling, and I can let you know that you are not alone. If you have someone in your life who may be struggling with these things, here are some ways that you can help them. Number 1, check in on them. It's pretty rare for a Black woman to volunteer the information that she is struggling with. If you've already got a relationship with someone where you can openly have these hard conversations, make sure to ask them, initiate the conversation, give them a chance to share how they're feeling. They may not be ready to talk, and that's okay. But letting them know that you see them and you're here for them can make a huge difference. Number 2, share some of your own struggles. Do you find yourself struggling with feelings of worthlessness or emptiness, or as if you can't keep going? Being open and honest about that with people who are safe can lead to some really deep and healing connections with others. Number 3, engage with Black clinicians' content online. You have me. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I also have a free Facebook group for women who are trying to break the cycle of generational trauma, as well as resources on my Etsy shop. Other great resources include Therapy for Black Girls. They not only have a directory having the conversation, of talking about what is going on with us when it comes to our mental health. Number 4, work on your own mental health. Talking about it is great, learning about it is incredible, but if you're feeling dysregulated or overwhelmed or triggered by things, it'll be a lot harder for you to support someone else when you yourself are really, really struggling. If you're a Florida resident, I am accepting new clients, but if not, send me a message and we can work together on finding someone who will be a great fit for you. I know that being a strong Black woman has now got a more positive spin to it, but I don't want us to forget that we are more than that. We are multifaceted, we are individual, creative people. We're unique at our core. I want to keep this conversation going. I want us Black women to be more open and vocal about our mental health so that we can get the help that we deserve. I hope you learned something new from this video, and whatever your takeaway is, we continue to do the work of learning about mental health. If you're interested in more statistics about Black mental health, I have a video about Black mental health in men and another one about Black mental health in teenagers. And feel free to subscribe, as my next video will be about Black mental health clinicians. Wherever you are in your mental health journey, I am so grateful